Welcome back, Shalloners. Yeah, babies. You've tagged me in this all day, all week. Perhaps it feels like the entirety of my life. Megxit. Meghan and Harry stepping back from their royal duties and creating quite the royal controversy in the process. We've done a lot of videos on Meghan and Harry here. We've talked about them a lot. You guys have very strong opinions about them, like for or against. But today, we're going to break down what's going on, who I think is going to come out on top in this sort of royal rumble, and most importantly, seduction tips we can learn from Meghan and how we can manipulation-proof ourselves and not be the Harry in any of our own dynamics. But first, just want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram, where I let you tag me on breaking news and stuff like that and vote on the next video topics. Also, if you need help with a particular problem, have a love question or a question about anything, find me on my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help to get connected. And be sure to listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday, every place podcasts are found. Okay, so quick recap. This news has been out for a minute, and I actually recorded this video a few days ago, and the sound dubbing was off. Cool, so I had to do it again. Here we are. But the good thing is, we had a chance to let more news break. We also had a chance to let my bangs grow out just enough so that they separate and do this. Perfect. Everything's coming up roses. So as you probably know, Harry and Meghan have decided to step back as senior royals, and they issued a statement via Instagram. My God, what a time to be alive that monarchs are issuing statements via social media. Like, isn't that kind of wild? Can you imagine like Marie Antoinette being like, I never said cake. I literally didn't say let them eat cake. I said brioche, which is different. So this was their statement. I'm going to be doing this the whole video. I'm so sorry. It's better than I can't. After many months of reflection and internal discussions, my accent's not great, we have chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. So the TLDR there is 35-year-old man vows to go off his family's allowance, okay? It is with your encouragement, particularly over the last few years, that we feel prepared to make this adjustment. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America. No, thank you. Continuing to honor our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and our patronages. This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity. We look forward to sharing the full details of this exciting next step in due course as we continue to collaborate with Her Majesty the Queen, the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge, and all relevant parties. This is the shadiest line I've ever heard. The Queen, grandmother, the Prince of Wales, my dad, the Duke of Cambridge, that's Prince William, and all relevant parties. Who the fuck would that be? Kate Middleton? Literally, they referred to Kate Middleton as etc. Oh, who's coming to the family reunion? Uncle Jim. I'm not going to say Aunt Karen, just like, and his +1. Do you mean Aunt Karen? And his +1. And his +1. I don't know. Name to be determined. No picture available. Also, they released this statement. This is the best part. They released this press release at midnight. Press releases don't go out on a midnight. Like, I've worked in celebrity journalism, and, I know a lot about PR because that's kind of the inverse. You don't release a press statement at midnight. Why did they do that? Because that was Kate Middleton's birthday. So that when that poor woman woke up on her own birthday, the news was saturated with that of her sister-in-law, who she is not getting along with. Now, I've said before, as you guys know, I used to run Star Magazine, and people would always ask me, what's true and what's not? And I would always say, any story about the royal family, like, not really true. This was pre-Meghan, because the palace was a tight ship. Like, no one talked. That's the way it was. Those were literally the royal rules. You didn't blab. Meghan came along, and that ship started to leak, right? Story after story, source after source. Someone quitting, someone new quitting, a new feud, Kate's in tears. Gee, what could have changed? Meghan Markle's arrival. And it's not so much that the whole palace decided to start talking. It's that she was the source herself. This is extremely, extremely common with celebrities. They're like, I don't know who leaked this information. Girl, you know you're the source. Like, I knew who the sources were on so many stories with Star and Us Weekly because we owned them as well. And like, many times it was a celebrity themselves. Many, many times. Because they're trying to control a narrative. They're trying to win the war of public opinion, and this is their weapon. This is their weapon of choice. And I've said before, when Meghan came along, I liked her. I was so gang for this. Like, divorce, yes. American, yeah. Biracial, loving it. I thought she was going to mix things up in a really interesting way. I thought she was going to bring a really cool, different perspective to an institution that's kind of like, you know, just a little, not a little. I mean, they're literally the archetype of rules and regulation and stiff upper lip and not rocking the boat. I pictured her being kind of like what Michelle Obama was to the first ladyship. Michelle Obama wasn't like Jackie O, who's great, but it was like, I want to be an interior designer. Fuck no. Michelle Obama was a lawyer who went to Princeton. So she came in there with so much intellect, and she wanted to do real things with that position. And that's what I kind of thought Meghan was going to do. Well, she's done things all right. She's done things. And you're probably thinking to yourself, it's really unfair of you, Shallon, to blame all of this on Meghan. No, it's not, because it's her fault. She's the common denominator, and she's the big switch. And you guys have commented before, like, you know what? The royal family's so toxic. Harry's wise to get away from them. Let's say that that's true. Let's say that that's true, that they're just a sack of weasels. I believe that men need to be men, and women need to be women. In that, we got to be our own savior. We can't wait for our partner, whether it's a girl partner, a husband, whatever, to ride in and save us from whatever is toxic in our life. That doesn't seem like a lot of fun to me. That I don't want to be that for my partner, and I have been. And it created a very toxic, codependent dynamic. I've talked about this with my relationship. Like, this was not a role I enjoyed, the sword and the shield. Maybe I just wanted to be the girlfriend or the wife, or maybe I had problems of my own, and maybe I wanted support from my partner, but I didn't want them to come in and save me from something. But maybe Harry did. We've talked a lot before about how Meghan seduced Harry. 2 words. You know what they are. Shadow self. Identifying a victim's shadow self. And we say victim because if you've read The Art of Seduction, that's how the author Robert Greene refers to, like, the person you're trying to seduce. So it's interesting. People aren't victims, but you know what I mean. It's identifying the shadow self. And that means the side of someone that they either feel not empowered to show the world, or they're trying to and no one's really listening. Or, this is the other thing. Not just the shadow self, the shadow excuse. The shadow excuse. And very often these two things walk hand in hand. Because I believe Harry's shadow self is an independent man who is in no one's shadow. You know? Like, he was always like, it's like the heir and the spare, like William and then Harry. Like, oh, he's the ginger. Oh, is Charles really his dad? Probably not. You know, he was always, I'm sure he always felt like he was in William's shadow. Like, Harry was like kind of geeky. William was like gorgeous, you know, just like so stunning, so suave and commanding, so tall. Like, and Harry probably always felt this sense of being the runt in a way. I mean, he's ginger. Meghan comes along and she tells this boy exactly what he's needed to hear. You are no one's spare. You are no one's runt. And you are no one's lackey. You are your own man. You are your own king. You don't need these people. You don't need their bitch ass allowance. And you don't need to play by their rules. Now, as I'm saying this seems like a pretty healthy thing, right? Like, this seems like what you should be telling your partner. I mean, because what's the alternative? Stay in line, Harry. No, you don't stand up to your grandmother. Look, if you live in Kentucky, don't tell your fucking partner this. Stand up to their grandmother. But when your grandmother is the Queen of England, this right here is why this is such a fiasco. Because while we identify Meghan's role in this dynamic with Harry as many times in real life, like normal civilian life, a positive thing, when it comes to the monarchy, it's not. Because this is the root of this. She signed up for this shit. This is what I have a problem with when it comes to Meghan, the victim narrative, right? This sense of, I'm a poor princess locked in a tower and this wicked old woman is keeping me here. Meghan, you literally have a library full of history books that could have versed you on what the English monarchy is all the fuck about, right? There's shows about it. There's one called, I don't know, The Crown. There's much data about the English monarchy and what's expected of a royal, okay? So for Meghan to either ignore this or say she understood it and then come in and be like, oh, I'm shocked, and then victimize herself about experiencing the very well publicized reality of a relationship she very much wants in the public eye and very much pursued, very much on purpose, you lost me. You lost me. I also don't understand what kind of scrutiny she thinks she's experienced that is worse than what has happened to royal family members throughout history. They cut off Marie Antoinette's head. They cut off her head. They locked her children in a cell opposite hers at the Bastille, and they beat them regularly. They beat her 7-year-old son every day where she could see him and hear him screaming and she couldn't get to him. But no, Meghan, no. Someone was mean to you on Twitter? Okay. No, I'm just taking some notes. I'm just taking some notes so that we can update the history to orient it to what's happening to you. Like, come on. I'm not saying that celebrity is easy, but this is the difference. You're not a celebrity. You're a royal. And the rules are different. And Meghan either didn't believe that that was going to be the case or thought she could change that. I think she went into this not with this Michelle Obama attitude of like, I'm going to like use this platform to like draw attention to different causes. Not even with the Jackie O mentality of like, I'm going to make everything pretty. It's, I'm going to change the fundamental way the monarchy runs. I am going to cut Harry out of this, and we're going to, this, and again, this is where she loses me. I'm like, what the fuck is your end game, girl? I don't understand where you're going with this. Are you going to start your own country? I don't understand. I think if it's just like you want to make a lot of money, I mean, is it literally this? Like she wants to stack the cash like she would be able to if she was an actual celebrity like Beyonce or something like that? Like, okay. Was being a princess not enough? I mean, there's like literally a room full of jewels and diamonds. You don't have to pay for your housing. You get an allowance, okay. The whole thing is just like, did you not read the fine print on this? It's not even fine print. It's right up there up front. Everyone knows that royal family members have a different sort of lifestyle. But there's developments. Oh, there's developments. Namely, William's statement. Now, again, I am shocked that the palace is such a leaky ship now in terms of jibber jabber. That allegedly, I mean, William gave an interview with the Sunday Times. I don't know, some people are saying this is fake. That's a pretty big swing for a magazine to publish or a newspaper to publish a fake interview with a Prince of England. So I'm pretty sure it's real. So allegedly he said, I've put my arm around my brother all our lives and I can't do that anymore. I'm sad about that. William has a really nice voice. It's kind of like butterscotchy. I think this is interesting because I don't have siblings, so I don't know what the sibling dynamic is like, but he sounds just genuinely very sad. Like Diana obviously died so young and so tragic, and they were really on their own in so many ways. Call me crazy. Prince Charles doesn't seem like a warm and fuzzy, like talk therapy kind of person. So I really think it really was those two boys kind of raising each other, and obviously William looking out for Harry so much of the time. And I almost feel like William has this empty nester syndrome. Like when a mom marries off her son and it's like, I'm not the lady of his house anymore. You know, like I'm not the number one woman in his life. Maybe William feels like that. Like, wow, Harry has a new person with their arm around him. Maybe a little stronger than it should be, but maybe not. And maybe this does come down to a control issue with the royals. Maybe William is fucking furious that he doesn't get to call the shots anymore and that there's someone else whispering in Harry's ear. Maybe so. in that sense, yeah, maybe this whole thing is for the best. My friend Julie, follow her on Instagram. She has a podcast called Do Tell Mama. Instead of like Don't Tell Mama, Do Tell Mama. That's her Insta handle. It's a podcast about like new motherhood and postpartum. It's really interesting. I don't even have a baby, and it's interesting. But she made a good point in a comment because I posted about this. She's like, you know what? If these two end up, because they're like, we want to get away from all this. If they end up moving to like LA or New York, I'm going to call bullshit on this whole, we want to get away from the scrutiny. If they move to like Idaho or Wyoming or Texas and like live a quiet life, you know what? Good for them. I will eat my words and I'll be like, you know what? I'm Team Meghan again. That's great. So it's going to be interesting. Like if they're in Calabasas with Kris Jenner, because now there's rumors, Meghan's going to sit down and have a tell-all with Gayle King. And who have we not heard from throughout this? Kate Middleton. I think Kate Middleton is playing the long game. Silence usually wins when it comes to a scandal because what did Oscar Wilde say? Better to keep your mouth closed and have everyone think you're a fool than open it and erase any doubt. So I think Kate's strategy is just to give Meghan enough rope and let her hang herself. Meghan is not as slick as she thinks she is, and she does not interview well. She comes across as extremely phony, in my opinion, fame chasing and just cloudy. Like when she had that engagement interview with Harry when they first got engaged, and she's like, I didn't even know who he was. Shut the, really? You, if that's true, you're an idiot. Like you are an actual idiot. Girl, you didn't know who Prince Harry was? So she word vomits just enough that you're like, all right, now I see. Now I see what's going on. There's just enough red flags that I'm like, there's something up with this chick. And I'm not saying she's a bad person. And I'm not saying she's like an abusive person, but she is, there's an agenda there. And there are machinations that maybe Harry doesn't see. Or maybe he does. We're going to get to that in a second. I'm going to read the rest of William's statement. So he said, all we can do and all I can do is try to support them and hope that the time comes when we're all singing from the same page. I want everyone to play on the team. That's significant. Play on the team. Not be on the same team. That is like an expression that I'm used to. Like, we're on the same team. We're on the same page. We all love each other. I want everyone to play on the team. Because what is a team? An organization, not a family. It's a business. And what is the royal family? They're a business. There are rules. There are contracts. There are dollar values. That's a corporation. So William is alluding to the fact that there are rules. This is not part of it. And that Harry needs to fall in line. Because this, like it or not, is what he was born into. And when you are a royal, your body belongs to the crown. These are the facts. Sucks. Sorry you were dealt a bad hand of being a prince of England. Harry might not be able to help that, but Meghan, again, it's like Meghan purposely dated this person, purposely married this person, and then is being like, I don't know. Oh, Oprah, help me, Gayle. Leave them out of it. So like I said, maybe Harry is well aware of Meghan's sort of like machinations behind the scene. Do you remember that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? I think one of the parents is like, the man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck. It's like, holy shit, isn't that the truth, right? I want to be the head and the neck. The man can be like, well, he knows what body part he can be. So I think, when I said earlier, it's like, someone can be your shadow self, can identify your shadow self, or your shadow excuse. When you are trying to run away from something in your life, and when you don't have the guts or the confidence or whatever it is to stand up to an issue in your life or a toxic dynamic or an indecision or a stagnancy, bad family dynamic, your career not going anywhere, health that's out of control. You have someone controlling come along, and do you know what that feels like? Drugs. That feels like heroin coursing through your veins because now you don't have to think anymore. I watch a lot of the show Intervention because it's like fascinating to me that people do so many drugs. Like I have like one big night out and have like 4 wine spritzes. And I want to put a bullet in my head the next day. Like how do you do this all the time? It's baffling. It's fascinating. But they're like, I drink to turn my brain off. I drink so I don't have to feel what I feel, so I don't have to think about what I have to think about. And doesn't that seem like maybe what Meghan gives to Harry? She makes the decisions. She's in control now. I don't have to feel this way. She's validating how I feel. She's validating my shadow self. And most importantly, she's giving me a way out. She's telling me that we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's it. That's it. Because now Harry feels like less the bad guy. And I'm not saying he would like purposely scapegoat his wife or like shove her, you know, in, like as a human shield for criticism. I don't think that. He's a good dude. But it's not a coincidence that he's empowered to make these decisions, empowered, now that Meghan is whispering in his ear. And like I said, for good and for bad, like we want to partner up with someone who helps us break negative patterns, right? We want to be with someone who says, this behavior, this dynamic is not good for you, and we're not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to your trick-ass family reunion and watching your uncle get drunk. I'm not doing it, and you're not going to do it either. But when you have a quality partner, they're not like, Meghan won't let me go. Shallon doesn't want me to do this. And I don't think Harry is doing that, you know, so that is like definitely a point for Harry. But that's what's so tricky about this. Like you think about this and you go around and around and around. It's like, well, this is a good thing. Well, wait, no, this is a bad thing. And it's like, you don't really arrive at any conclusion. In some sense, she seems very manipulative and controlling. And what did I say? The hallmark of abuse is isolation. I don't think she's like hitting him. I don't think she's like an evil person, but she is isolating him to get more control. But again, sometimes you have to isolate someone away from bad things. You're trying to get someone off drugs. They're not going out with those drug friends. They're not going out driving around like the sketchy part of town into it. They're not doing it. You are going to have that control. But then it comes back to, who the fuck wants to be someone's emotional parole officer? I don't. I just dealt with that. And it's so deeply unsexy. It's such an unfun parent-child dynamic. And doesn't it make sense that Harry would be looking for a strong mother figure? Doesn't that make sense, right? A woman who said, I'm not going to let our relationship turn out like Charles and Diana's. I'm not going to let you live the experience of Diana. Constant paparazzi, literally chasing her to her death. No, I'm opting out of all of that. Just so happens I'm going to make a big ass payday doing this. Just so happens she's going to stir the pot. Just so happens she's going to be the Wallace Simpson of the 21st century. Who is Wallace Simpson? Wallace Simpson was as my grandmother would say, a handsome woman who got the King of England, King Edward, he was Prince Edward, and then he became, king. His father died, that's how it goes, to abdicate the throne because he wanted to marry her. He couldn't marry her because she was a twice divorced American. And people were like, what hold did she have over this man? I'll tell you, do you want to know? Because, yeah, she wasn't like a looker at all. She was known to be like pretty unattractive, but like very stylish. And apparently the prince was like not good in bed. Surprise, surprise. Like they're inbred, for God's sakes. He had like no chin. No shit, he's not good in bed. Like he would like finish too fast. And she could do like this Kegel thing, like this grip thing that I don't know what they call it. Like the Cincinnati Grip, like some term they gave it. And no one had done that before. And it like blew his mind. And he's like, holy shit, I'm obsessed with you. I will give up the throne of England to be with you and your Cincinnati Grip. But history does not look kindly on Wallace and Edward. They look at them kind of as chumps. And as more than just chumps, English, it's like, bro, that was your duty though. That was your duty. And again, I'm sorry you got dealt a bad hand where your duty was to be the King of England. And that did come first, but that was it. So, but on the other hand, how romantic. Someone giving up everything for the woman that they love. They used to sign their letters W/E because they felt like they were one person. It's too much. It's cute, but yeah, it's like I go around and around. I'm like, I can't think of a single dude I'd give up a monarchy for, even though it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. No, but that's duty, and we now in 2020 don't have a concept of the word duty. One of my favorite quotes in the world is from Winston Churchill. I used to have it as my screensaver for like a year. We must abandon the word reward and return to the word duty. I think about this when like I walk by something and it falls off a shelf and I'm like, I don't need to pick that up. Not reward, duty. It's my duty to pick it up. Go pick it up and put it back. So the concept of true duty is very foreign to us now. I don't have to do this. I don't want to. It's not like that for a Prince of England. So this is all going to play out in a very interesting way. Apparently, Harry and Meghan are going to issue some statements. But here's something else. Because what do we do here? We learn from things, right? So what can we learn? You need to Meghan-proof your own life. Because for this portion, we're going to pretend that Meghan's a villain, right? Even if she's not, you don't need an emotional parole officer either. And it's not fair to you to put your partner in that role. It's not fun for them, and it's a bitch-ass move for you. If there's something that you are running away from, you got to identify it. What is your shadow excuse? What ideally do you want a partner to give you license to do that you are afraid to do on your own? Whether it's amplify a certain side of you, break away from something that isn't working, inspire you to go to the gym, force you to work out. What if you just gave that to yourself? What if you were your own Prince Charming? What if you were your own White Knight and you rode in to save yourself? And what if you didn't have to go through like some huge catastrophe? What if you could simply take the steps to fix your life yourself? How does that feel? Does it feel scary? Does it feel overwhelming? It should. It is. But big things are comprised of small things. Big shifts, they're made up of small shifts. I need to lose 100 pounds. All right, okay, it's probably not going to happen by next week, but it might happen by next year, the year after that. If you break it down into small things. I need to leave my job and get out of this small town. All right, sit down with a piece of paper and make a plan. Everything is executable. Everything comes down to actual literal outlines. And had Harry done that, had Harry been like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Think of the drama he could have spared. And let's now say that Meghan is absolutely, completely innocent in this, and she is pretty much collateral damage. He could have spared her that. And a man, a solid man, forget a man, a woman, anybody, who is truly coming from a place of strength will be able to do that. And when you're not desperate for someone to save you, think of how your decision-making is going to be different. Think of how quickly you get rid of that fuckboy. Think of how healthy your relationships could be. Think of your friendships that could be deeper and more reciprocal. All it takes is a little bit of planning. Pencil and paper. Weird, right? You can be your own hero. You can be your own prince. You can be your own Meghan Markle. I'm really curious to know what you guys think of this situation. Do you think it's healthy? Do you think Meghan is like this arch villain? Like, where do you think they're going to go after the dust settles on this? I mean, do you think they're going to be like, welcome to Late Night with Harry and Meghan? Or do you think they're going to like settle into a quiet life in like Canada or something like that? I'm super curious. Let me know what you think. And like I said, if you need help with something in your own life and you need someone to save you, okay, fine, I can do that. Go to my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. Also, you can buy some really fun merch there and take a quiz to see what kind of vibe your social media is putting out. Speaking of social media, follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, and be sure to watch my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday. See you later, Shalloners.